Welcome to Donmar TV News Channel, mga nagbabagong balita sa buwan ng Agosto.
Fraud is not new to PhilHealth. Mabuti pa nga yung pandemic, every 100 years bumabalik sa mundo. Dito yata sa PhilHealth, every time a new appointee comes into the PhilHealth family, paulit-ulit na bumabalik yung mga puno ng totoong mafia sa PhilHealth. Hindi lang po doctorate, hindi lang po nagdo-doktor, kundi naging doctorate na po yung expertise ng fraud sa loob ng institusyon na ito, na ikinalulungkot ko dahil marami po dyan ang mga naging kasama at naging katrabaho ko. Mr. Chairman, way back 2001, that was actually the peak where fraud in PhilHealth was really discovered. This was mainly due to cataract. And if may we request General Morales and the other PhilHealth officials, because nung pumutok po ang cataract fraud na ito, nagkaroon, kinumission ng Department of Health, yung isang grupo, to come up with a report. That report was called the Seacrest Report. Doon po naka-entail, in detail, how fraud was being committed and where the collusion was actually happening. Unfortunately, instead of this report being used to instigate and to instill reforms, this report became a Bible where others started copying how fraud via cataract operations can be committed. I joined Congress in 2004 at nung pumasok na ako sa Kongreso, yung laban ng paglilinis ng PhilHealth ay dinala ko sa Kongreso. Fortunately, sometime in the early part of my first term in office, then our former President, Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, asked me a few important questions and gave the directive for Congress to continue the investigation. Because of this, Secretary Duque, who was then a president of PhilHealth, allowed us to instill reforms related to cataract fraud. Nawala, subalit bumalik, nawawala ulit, bumabalik. That's why, Mr. Chair, I do hope that at this time, permanent reforms will really be installed because it's useless to be investigating. Ilang investigasyon na po ang dinaanan ng PhilHealth pero walang nangyayari dahil bawat panahon na merong bagong ina-appoint, they have mastered the art of fraud. Hindi po totoo na case rates lamang ang problema. Case rates actually simplified the fraud. But prior to case rates, kaliwat kanan na po ang fraud na nangyayari. Unang-una po sa listahan ng mga miyembro. Pangalawa po, sa mga remittances ng PhilHealth Premium. Baka po pwede nating balikan kung ano ang mga nangyari nung panahon na yun. Dahil kung tinitingnan po, just for disclosure, Mr. Chair, I became the chairman of the PhilHealth Board, I think in 2015, up to the early part of 2016. Allow me, I'm not sure, but I think that was like 1 year and 4 months. At nung una nga pong pumasok sa PhilHealth, ang una po naming tinutukan ay baguhin ang case rates. A joint committee was organized because there were seemingly a lot of duplications between PhilHealth coverage and the free medicines being distributed by DOH. At ito po ang mga tinanggal. Example, magkakaroon po yung PhilHealth ng coverage na pamimigay sa ating mga rural health centers. These are packages, but the medicines actually covered are the same medicines that are already distributed by DOH for free. So to avoid duplication and to align the actual case rates, nagkaroon po ng reduction. I believe dialysis was one of those. Pneumonia case rates were also changed dahil nung panahon nga dati, na dokumento po yung track ng mga tao na hinahakot. And the problem with this, Mr. Chair, yung mga miyembro ng PhilHealth tila na abuso. The reason why I am repeating this again, because we have been trying so hard to convey this to the leadership of PhilHealth. Unfortunately, every time the leadership changes, many people are made to believe that fraud does not exist. Kaya kung sa pandemya, kailangan nating tanggapin na totoo ang COVID and we have to coexist in order to solve the problem of this pandemic, sa PhilHealth naman, kailangan po nating tanggapin that fraud is happening and that there is a syndicate inside, because if the leadership of PhilHealth will not recognize the existence of such syndicate, it will be very difficult to find solutions. So, Mr. Chair, allow me to request PhilHealth to submit before this August body all the memos issued by whoever assumed as chairman of the board and as president of PhilHealth, dahil merong pong mga memo doon na yung mga reforms that were initiated were all overturned. Second, Mr. Chair, sinabi ko po kanina saan po nanggagaling yung fraud. Una, listahan ng mga members. Pangalawa, yung pagpasok po ng pera, yung remittance. Ikatatlo po, yung mga collection, yung mga pagbabayad. If Mr. Chair, may I inquire from General Morales as to the legal basis? I know that he is not directly involved in this, but he can be an instrument in cleansing this institution, which is very vital in terms of public health, because 60 to 70% of our out-of-pocket expenditure is from our own pockets. That remaining 40 to 30%, malaki po ang bagay dyan ng PhilHealth. So may we ask General Morales what the legal basis of the IRM is?
General Morales recognized.
The IRM was approved by the board resolution, which was based on the Bayanihan law and the specific law which I will provide.
Are you done, General Morales? Congresswoman Janet Garin, did you understand the answer?
Yeah,
That
Mr. Chair,
satisfied you?
I was actually asking for the legal basis of the IRM.
Did he answer correctly, Congressman Janet?
Were you satisfied with the answer of General Morales?
I believe he mentioned that he's going to show the basis.
Okay,
Yeah, that's-
General Morales, again, you are recognized. Again, General Morales, can you hear
General
us?
Morales, paki-unmute po yung inyong Zoom.
Okay.
Paki-unmute po yung inyong
Can you hear me?
boses.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, Congressman Garin, the legal basis of the interim reimbursement mechanism.
Excuse me, General Morales, excuse me po.
Act, as amended by Republic Act 10/06.
General
which
Morales,
authorizes
excuse me
PhilHealth
po.
to supervise the provision of health benefits and to set standards, rules, and regulations necessary to ensure quality of care, appropriate utilization of series, fund viability, member satisfaction, and overall accomplishment of program objectives. Section 16 of Republic Act 7875, as amended, also says to formulate and implement guidelines on contributions and benefits, healthcare provider arrangement, payment methods, and then Section 16D also goes on to say to negotiate and enter into contracts with healthcare institutions, professionals, regarding payment mechanisms, design and implementation of administrative and operating systems and procedures, financing and delivery of services. So, Republic Act 7875 po ang basis nito. And also Republic Act 929, series of 2020, declaring a state of calamity throughout the Philippines, imposed and unimposed enhanced community quarantine, and also the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act po. So yun po ang legal basis for the interim reimbursement.
Congressman Janet Garin, bago nyo po ipagpatuloy ang inyong pagtatanong kay General Morales, ay ipapaalala lang po ng committee ito na sana po always address the chair. Huwag nyo po i-address na direkta yung inyong kinakausap, General Morales, sapagat iniiwasan lang po natin na kayo ay magkasalpukan, lalong-lalo na kung magkakaroon ng mainit na talakayan ngayong araw na ito. At under the leadership po ng ating committee chairman, inaasahan po natin na sana po maging malinaw po ang inyong pagsagot sa mga katanungan. At muli, ipapaulit po natin yung tanong ni Congresswoman Janet Garin dahil tinatanong ko po siya kung yung kanyang tanong ay eksakto mong nasagot at mukhang sabi niya ay hindi daw. Congressman Garin.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. Yung tanong ko po kay General Morales kanina, ano po ba yung ating legal na basihan nung pong nag-cash advance tayo ng bilyon-bilyon na pera ng PhilHealth papunta nga sa mga healthcare institutions? At ang natanggap ko nga na sagot niya, ang sinabi niya ay ang Bayanihan Law and a certain resolution which was, I believe it's the resolution and the implementation of interim reimbursement mechanism nationwide due to COVID. Yun po ba ang sagot ng ating butihing general, Mr. Chair? Just to align, kasi hindi ko siya kanina masyadong marinig.
General Morales, pwede po bang, para po mas mapaliwanag nyo sa amin na maayos, pwede po bang pakitanggal muna sandali yung inyong face mask para po mas marinig po namin kayo? Ayan, gwapong-gwapo naman si General Morales eh. Ayan, pakinggan po natin muli.
Yung base ho ng interim reimbursement mechanism ay Republic Act 7872, yung National Health Insurance Act, as amended by Republic Act 10606, may section 16 at section 16C at section 16D na pumapayag ho sa PhilHealth na gumawa ng healthcare provider arrangements, payment methods, at to negotiate and enter into contracts with healthcare institutions regarding the payment mechanism, design and implementation of administrative and operating systems and procedures, financing and delivery of health services in behalf of its members.
Yes.
So yun ho ang pinakabase ng...
Mr. Chair, tanong ko lang po kay General Morales at sa ating butihing officials ng PhilHealth, pagka po ba sinabing interim reimbursement mechanism, ibig po ba sabihin cash advance or ipadala ng una yung pera o hindi?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, yung interim reimbursement mechanism ho ay isa pong cash advance, isang form ng cash advance.
Nakakapagtako po, Mr. Chair, kasi klaro naman po doon sa term, interim reimbursement mechanism. At ang pagkasabi po dito sa interim reimbursement mechanism, ginagawa siya para tulungan yung ating mga health facilities at ating mga ospital sa panahon ng pandemya o mga kalamidad, kagaya ng Marawi Siege, ng Yolanda, ng mga earthquake at kung ano-ano pang mga nangyari. Pero ang pagkakaintindi ko po, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues, nung ako po naging undersecretary ng Department of Health at doon po nangyari ang Yolanda, ang nakasaad po kasi doon, bibilisan yung reimbursement. Ibig sabihin, puputulin yung mga bürokrasya kung saan napakatagal ng reimbursement sa ating health facilities at sa ating mga doktor. Kasi napakaklaro po interim reimbursement mechanism. The word speaks for itself. Res ipsa loquitur. Para naman pong hindi po ba napakahirap pong intindihin. I am not a lawyer. I have my background on public health financing. Pero basic lang po, ang hirap pong sabihin na kapag sinabing reimbursement, cash advance. Hindi po talaga maitugma yung these two words, these two phrases. So if I may, Mr. Chair, may I ask another question? Kanino po ba ang pera ng PhilHealth?
Pakiulit po, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, sino po ba ang may-ari ng pera ng PhilHealth?
Ang taong bayan ho, may-ari ng pera ng PhilHealth.
Apologies, Mr. Chair, hindi ko masyadong narinig. Ano nga po yun? Sino yung may-ari ng...
Congresswoman Garin, Mr. Chair,
Honorable
Ang
Labrador.
narinig ko po sa sinabi ng PhilHealth ay taong bayan daw po ang may-ari ng pera ng PhilHealth.
General Morales, yes, please.
Opo, Mr. Chairman, ang sinabi ko po, ang nagme-may-ari ho ng pera ng PhilHealth ay ang taong bayan po.
Mawalang galang na po, Mr. Chair, distinguished colleagues. Dito po siguro nagsisimula ang lahat ng problema. Kung hindi po natin naiintindihan ang talagang nagmamay-ari ng pera ng PhilHealth. Hindi po siya pag-aari ng taong bayan, pag-aari po siya ng mga miyembro ng PhilHealth. Being a public health insurance, that's why its function as an insurance, lahat po ng insurance, nagbibigay ng premium yung mga miyembro. Kapag ikaw ay mga ilangan, yung insurance institusyon na yaan ang magbabayad ng iyong pangangailangan. And this is actually one of the biggest reasons of fraud. Marami po kasi ang umaabuso sa pondo ng PhilHealth sa pag-aakala nila na ito ang ninanakawan nila gobyerno lamang. While government subsidizes the premium of the indigents, when the government pays PhilHealth, that money becomes a money of all the members and the dependents of the Philippine Health Insurance. Kaya nga po insurance. So babalik po tayo,
Honorable
Mr.
Garin,
Chair.
last question, please, if you may. Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair, I would like to pursue the investigation on the legal basis of the IRM. May we also request an itemized list of who received an interim reimbursement mechanism and who owns all these facilities. Sila ba may kinalaman sa COVID or wala? And Mr. Chair, I received information and I got hold of the memo that justification of the IRM has been deferred. Ibig po sabihin, pinakash advance natin ang bilyong-bilyong pera. Nung nahawakan na yung pera, sasabihin natin, ay, huwag nyo lang munang i-liquidate, mamaya na yan. Napakasakit po ng ganito. Because if you, the institution itself, tells the members who had a cash advance from the money of the PhilHealth members at sasabihin nyo, huwag nyo munang i-liquidate, ang ibig po sabihin nun is mas pinapatagal mo ang nakawan. Mr. Chair, my next question is on the rate of COVID testing. I am very happy that earlier during the course of this hearing, General Morales said they already adjusted the rates. Nagpapasalamat po tayo dyan. But in the first place, damage has already been done. Dahil nung naglagay ang PhilHealth ng maximum ceiling na reimbursement ng 8,000, was it 8,130? Magkano po ang maximum ceiling ng COVID test?
In March po, yun ang maximum.
Ano po yun?
General Morales, can you please repeat? We did not understand.
In March po, yun po ang maximum rate ng totally purchased by the hospital, ang materials for testing, 8,100.
8,150.
In March.
Did it ended in March? Sa pagkakaintindi ko, yung pagbabago lang po ng rates ng PhilHealth only came about when we were already investigating it in Congress when I filed the crushing COVID law. Doon lang po nagsimula ang pressure.
Actually, Honorable Garin, yes, I was a witness to that. In the hearings that we conducted, ikaw po yung 1 or 2. Kayo po yung nagsasalita na masyadong mataas yung 8,100 and then later on, ibinaba po.
Yes, but that happened, Mr. Chair, sometime in May already. Because I remember informing General Morales and the other members of PhilHealth, the officers of PhilHealth, that 8,150 is exorbitant. At ang sabi ko nga, mas mahal pa yan kesa sa CT scan.
General, kailan po ba binago yung 8,100? Would you recall?
Nung May ho, actually constantly in the process, nung May ho, binago itong rate. Ngunit patuloy ho tayo nagmo-monitor ng market prices at sa ngayon ho, we are also in the process of readjusting downwards. Kasi nagbago na ho yung market rate, so tuloy-tuloy ho ang ating pag-monitor at pag-adjust ng rates.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Honorable Morales.
magkano na po yung rate ngayon?
Magkano po tayo ngayon, General Morales? Naalala ko po, Congresswoman Garino, 8,100, nung ni-raise nyo po yan, binabata sa 4,000. And then ngayon, sige po, General Morales, please reply.
Mr. Chair,
Nasa
if I may.
3,400 na ho ngayon. At lower rate ho than that is 2,077 for subsidized tests.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, paulit-ulit ko pong sinasabi sa PhilHealth, meron pong tinatawag na mechanism of computing tests like this. It's a mechanism established by World Health Organization para pwedeng yun ang kunan mo ng estimate. And the estimate on COVID testing is 3,500 as the maximum testing fee. Pwede po yung bumaba, lalo na't pagka-government facility or kung merong mga donations. Just for the record, Mr. Chair, hindi po totoo na napakamahal nung dati na mga kailangan para sa testing at ngayon nagmura because it's a regulated device being a pandemic. Regulated po yan ng mga countries kung saan they are manufactured. Be that as it may, Mr. Chair, March, April, May, sino po ba ang mananagot sa napakamahal na testing fee na ginawang costing? Kaya tuloy, you can't blame others who had to abuse and make money out of testing. Pangalawa po, Mr. Chair, pasensya na po because this is very important. Masakit po bilang isang doktor na nakikita yung ating mga kasamahan na hirap sa trabaho sa hospital. Many of them are silent workers. Gusto ko lang pong maklarify because paulit-ulit po na sinasabi na libre ang COVID testing ng ating direct health workers, especially those in the hospitals and in the laboratories. Unfortunately, up to this point of time, ang marami po tayong doktor, nurses, and laboratory specialists ang hindi natetest. Dahil kapag yung mga testing centers ay nagpapa-refund na sa PhilHealth, ang sinasagot daw sa kanila, Ma'am, announcement lang po yan. Wala pa po yung guidelines at dahil walang guidelines, hindi po namin marirefund ang gastusin ng COVID tests ng ating frontliners, medical frontliners. Can we get from PhilHealth the real situation with regards to this?
Okay, Honorable Garin, that would be the last question. We proceed, General Morales, and then we proceed to the Honorable B.H. Herrera. General Morales, kindly reply. I'm sorry, General Morales, we could not get... Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. We are following the DOH protocols who will qualify for free COVID testing. In my understanding, lahat ho ng health workers sa mga frontliners are entitled to free COVID testing. Ngayon po, ang execution ho nito sa frontline depende ho sa clinic sa mga laboratories na gumagawa ho ng testing. At sumusunod ho kami sa category na napublish ng Department of Health.
Mr. Chair, last comment na lang po.
Go ahead.
Pasensya na po talaga. Mawalang galang na po, no? I have full respect to the Honorable General and the President of PhilHealth. Kaya lang marami pong tao sa palibot nyo ang gumagawa ng mga hakbang para hindi mag-succeed ang mandatos ng PhilHealth. Ibalik ko lang po, Mr. Chair. Kanina ang sabi po ng ating PhilHealth official, nagkaroon sila ng IRM dahil merong bayanihan law. Pero busisiin po natin ang petsa nung ginawa nilang mga board resolution. Nauna pa po ang pag-release ng pera, ang pakikipag-MOA na wala pang board resolution. Ibig sabihin, advance na ginawa kesa sa batayan ng IRM. Pero dito naman sa health workers na kailangang i-test, maski paulit-ulit na sinasabi ng DOH, hindi naman ma-implement kasi wala pa po ang written guidelines. Para pong two-sided, but it's unfair for our health workers and our frontliners to be on the front lines, but they are made to pay for their testing. Ang sinasabi naman po, covered sila, pero hindi pa ma-cover kasi wala pang guidelines. Bakit naman po? sa release ng IRM, kung saan based on favoritism ang pag-release ng pera, tila ang bilis-bilis po, despite the fact that the board did not pass a resolution yet. With that, Mr. Chair, I will pursue further questions in the subsequent deliberations, but may we request General Morales to please retrieve the transition report that myself and the team who worked with me submitted when I left the Philippine Health Insurance Office. Because that transition report details all the reforms that were made, which unfortunately, some of which were unfortunately overturned when I left office. With that, Mr. Chair, I would look forward to working with PhilHealth and identifying the reforms that were there, overturned, and should be put back in place because PhilHealth cannot operate at the whims of its officers. PhilHealth should operate in protecting the health of its members. Pera po yan ng mga miyembro ng PhilHealth because that is a public health insurance institution. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.